Hello learners, welcome to the course on genetics. In this video we will learn about allopolyploidy. In previous video we already discussed about the different types of polyploidy. There are two types of polyploidy, that is autopolyploidy and allopolyploidy. Autopolyploidy we already discussed in previous video, and in this video we will going to learn the allopolyploidy. So when a polyploid offspring is originated from two distinct parental species, then it is known as allopolyploidy. So before knowing allopolyploidy or concept of allopolyploidy, we should know first polyploidy, which we already discussed in previous videos. So polyploids are the organism which contains more than two sets of chromosome, then they are known as polyploids. Or the organisms which contains two or more than two genomes in them, then they are known as polyploids. So polyploids, they are again subdivided into autopolyploids and allopolyploids. In previous video we already discussed about autopolyploids, which are the organisms which having more than two sets of chromosomes which are derived from the same parent, or they contains more than two sets of similar type of chromosomes, then they are called known as autopolyploids. But second type of polyploidy, that is allopolyploidy, it is somewhat different from autopolyploid. It is also polyploidy, it also contains more than two sets of chromosome, but these chromosomes are derived from two distinct parental species. In autopolyploidy we already seen these organisms contains the similar sets of chromosome, but allopolyploids contain different types of sets of chromosomes. So this is another type of polyploidy, so it is known as allopolyploidy. So when two distinct species they are crossed with each other, they forms a F1 offspring which having chromosome of both parents. If chromosome number gets doubled in F1 offspring, it forms an allopolyploid organism which having double genome of both distinct parents. So this will be more clear from this diagram. Here you can see we have selected two parents. These are the parents. This is species 1 parent and this is species 2 parent. This having the genotype XX and this having the genotype YY. Both are diploid, means they contains diploid chromosome number. So initially we have selected two diploid parents and both parents are distinct one, means different types of parents. Now they will give rise to F1 generation, F1 offspring. So in F1 offspring you can see the chromosome sets of both parents, means one chromosome set has been derived from species 1 and another from the species 2, means X from 1 and Y from 2nd. So this organism, it is again diploid sterile hybrid because it has received one set of chromosome from species 1, that is parent 1, and another set of chromosome from parent 2. So they will form a diploid but sterile hybrid. Now when we will give them a treatment of colchicine, so this is very important chemical we already discussed. So this is very important chemical which is very much affect on the spindle fiber formation during the cell division. So that if we give colchicine treatment to these F1 hybrids, then they will produce ampidiploid tetraploid plant, or it is known as allopolyploid organism. So this is fertile. So this organism, it is sterile one because here there will be no pairing of chromosome during meiosis because the chromosomes are of two different species. So there will be no pairing. So the F1 hybrid, it will be the sterile one. But when we will give coelicitin treatment to this XY, that is F1 hybrid, it will produce amphi-diploid tetraploid, and there will be the pairing of chromosomes and they will be the fertile organisms. So allopolyploids are nothing but these are the amphi-diploid tetraploids. When such type of organisms are in diploid form, they are highly sterile, but when they will converted into tetraploid, they will become fertile. So here you can see, in this way allopolyploid organisms can be produced. So initially we have selected two distinct species, both are diploid. They will give rise to a diploid but sterile hybrid because there will be no pairing during the meiosis. When we give them a colchicine treatment, then they will give rise to allopolyploid. Here you can see both X and both Y are present in a organism. So this is a tetraploid plant because there are 4 sets of chromosome you can see, because this X one set, this X one set, this Y one set, and this Y one set. So all these are the 4 sets of chromosome. So here there will be pairing of chromosomes during meiosis takes place, and they will produce fertile gametes and the organism will be fertile. So in this way allopolyploids can be synthesized or formed. Now there is a very important example of allopolyploid, that is Raphanobrassica, which has been proved by scientists, cytogeneticists, and they have been synthesized successfully. So Raphanobrassica, it is a classical example of allopolyploidy in which it is resulted from 2 distinct species, that is radish Raphanus sativus and cabbage, that is Brassica oleracea. So these 2 species, they have been derived from 2 different genera. So here you can see cabbage and radish, they have been derived from 2 different genera. So here Brassica and here Raphanus. So these 2 are the distinct species. So we have selected 2 distinct species, that is radish and cabbage. So these are the parents we have selected, both having diploid chromosome number 2n is equal to 18. So cabbage also and radish also, they having diploid chromosome number 18. F1 hybrid resulted from this cross would be intermediate of both the parents and have also 18 chromosomes, that is 9 derived from radish and 9 from the cabbage. So F1 offspring which will be resulted from this cross of radish and cabbage, it would have 18 chromosome numbers, means it is also diploid one because it has received one set from each parent, that is it received 9 chromosomes from each parent, means 9 plus 9, so it becomes 18. So F1 resulted it also having the diploid chromosome number, that is 18. The formed F1 hybrid, it is highly sterile because pairing cannot take place during meiosis as it contains 2 distinct genomes. So as we have discussed earlier, here also the F1 offspring has received the one set of chromosome from one parent and another set from another parent, and we have selected 2 distinct parents here. So due to these distinct parental chromosome, there will be no pairing of chromosomes takes place in meiosis, and there will be the F1 offspring will be sterile. But in F2 some of the seeds are required to be fertile because its somatic cell contains 36 chromosomes which are arisen from the union of unreduced gamete formed in F1 parents. But if these sterile F1 hybrids, they are lead to give rise to F2 generation, some of the offspring in F2 they are become fertile because in somatic cells 36 chromosomes which are arisen from the union of unreduced gametes formed by F1 parents. So the mechanism which is given by colchicine. Same mechanism takes place here, and there will be the offspring with 36 chromosomes, means it contains tetraploid plant, that is 4 sets of chromosome. Means normal plant it contains only 18 chromosome, but this plant contains 36 chromosomes. As this is a tetraploid plant, there is pairing of chromosome takes place during meiosis, and this plant will become fertile plant. So the F2 plants which are fertile are the full diploid complements of the original radish and cabbage parents. So these F2 offsprings which are fertile, they are full complements of this cabbage and radish, and they are fertile, and probably they are more fertile than that of original parents because they contains tetraploid chromosome number, that is 4 sets of chromosomes. Now we will proceed to synthesized allopolyploids. Some cytogeneticists, they could produce some allopolyploids such as polyploids. Such polyploids are known as synthesized allopolyploids. Means these polyploids, they have been produced in laboratory. For examples, hexaploid wheat and tetraploid cotton, they are produced in laboratory. Scientists have also produced other types of tetraploids also, but in here we are only taking in consideration these two examples, that is hexaploid wheat and tetraploid cotton. So these two allopolyploid plants have been produced by cytogeneticists into the laboratory. So one by one we will see. First of all, we will see example of wheat, that is Triticum spelta. This is one example of synthesized allopolyploid. So how they are prepared we will see here. So this is hexaploid wheat variety and has been synthesized by E.S. McFadden and E.R. Sears. It is also produced by H. Kihara. So this is hexaploid wheat. Hexaploid means you can understand well, it contains 6 sets of chromosomes. They crossed an Immer wheat. So these scientists, they crossed Immer wheat variety Triticum dicoccytes, and it has tetraploid 2n is equal to 28. So initially they have selected a tetraploid variety as a parent. So this variety, it is tetraploid and it has 2n is equal to 28. With goat grass Aegilops squarosa, so it has diploid 2n is equal to 14. So we can, it is clear from this example, wheat variety which is formed or synthesized as an allopolyploid, it has been originated from 2 parents. One parent, that is Triticum dicoxide, it is tetraploid parent or it is tetraploid species, and another parent Aegilops squarosa, it is a diploid parent. So here both parents are different types, one is tetraploid and one is diploid. Both species are distinct. You can see genus are also distinct, Triticum, Aegilops. So these parents have been selected by these scientists for the formation of this tetraploid hexaploid wheat, that is Triticum spelta. So, and double the chromosome number in F1 hybrid. This artificially synthesized hexaploid wheat was found to be similar to the primitive wheat, that is Triticum spelta. So scientists, they have prepared this cross, and how they crossed we will see in here. So initially they have selected 2 parents, Triticum dicoxydes. So this is one parent, this is another parent. So this is Aegilops squarosa. So as we have seen, the first parent, it is tetraploid Immer wheat, and which having such type of genotype. So AABB. So there are 4 sets of chromosome, 1A, another A, 2 sets, one B, another B, these two sets. So 2 plus 2, 4 sets of chromosome you can see. So this first parent, it is already tetraploid parents, and it is commonly known as emmer wheat, and scientifically name of that plant is Triticum dicoxaides. So this plant having 2n is equal to 28 chromosomes, means it contains 14 bivalents, means 14 pairs of chromosomes. Another parent, it is Aegilops squarosa. It is diploid goat grass. As it is diploid, it contains only 2 genome or 2 sets of chromosome, capital D, capital D. So here you can see 2n is equal to 14, means 7 bivalents, means 7 pair of chromosomes you can see here. So one parent is tetraploid and one parent is diploid. Now if we cross them, they will give rise to a hybrid, and the hybrid is no doubt triploid hybrid, because it receives 2 chromosomes, 2 sets of chromosome from one parent, that is Triticum dicoxide, and 1 set of chromosome from Aegilops squarosa. So here you can see, as it is tetraploid plant, it will give 14 chromosomes to F1, and this is diploid plant, it will only give 7 chromosomes to this F1 plant. And here you can see the genotype A, B and D. So only 3 sets of chromosomes you can see here, and this plant, it is known as triploid hybrid. And the 2n is equal to 21, means this plant contains 21 univalents, means 21 chromosomes which are unpaired chromosomes, they can't pair. So these are 21 univalents have been formed. So in F1 you can see this type of triploid plant have been formed. This is no doubt sterile one. Now what happens if we will give, or the scientists have given the treatment of colchicine to the formed or synthesized F1? Now what happen, you can see when colchicine treatment will be given, there will be the disturbance in spindle fiber formation, and there will be the duplication of set of chromosome here. So you can see 2A, 2B and 2D are formed. So from these 3 sets of chromosomes, due to treatment of colchicine, they will produce a hexaploid plant, means the organism which are originated after colchicine treatment, it will have 6 sets of chromosomes in this way. And this plant, it is known as synthesized hexaploid wheat. It is known as Triticum spelta. It has 2n is equal to 42 chromosomes and 2-1 bivalence, means pairing of chromosomes have been taken place, and it has 21 pairs of chromosomes. So this particular organism or this particular wheat, it is fertile, or we may call it is highly fertile, but F1 was not fertile one. So here in this way we have been formed a allopolyploid plant. So here why we will say it as allopolyploid, it will get clear from here, because there are 2 types of A chromosome sets, 2 B chromosome sets and 2 D chromosome sets. In autopolyploids we have seen all sets were same, either A, all are either A, all are either B, all are either D. But here you can see all different types of sets can be seen here. So these plants are known as allopolyploids. So allopolyploids have been synthesized in laboratory by the scientist in this way. So this is the allopolyploid of Triticum, and this is very similar to Triticum spelta. So this is artificial synthesis of hexaploid wheat. So this is first example. Now we will proceed to the another example, that is example of cotton, that is Gossypium hirsutum. So New World cotton is also an example of allopolyploidy. So New World cotton means newly synthesized cotton. It is the example of allopolyploidy. How it has been synthesized we will see here. So there was a scientist J.O. Besley. He selected two parents for the synthesis of New World cotton. Old World cotton, that is Gossypium herbaceae, it has chromosome number, diploid chromosome number 2n is equal to 26. If it is crossed with American cotton, that is upland cotton, Gossypium raymondi, it also have the chromosome number 2n is equal to 26, and these are doubled chromosome number in F1 hybrids. So allopolyploid thus produced resembles with New World cotton, and when crossed with it gave fertile F1 hybrids. So it is concluded that tetraploid Gossypium hirsutum, it has been originated from two diploid species, namely Gossypium herbaceum 2n is equal to 26 and Gossypium raymondi 2n is equal to 26. So here also allopolyploid cotton have been formed by the similar way by scientists. Here the selected parents are having different species. Genus is similar here Gossypium, but species are different. So this Gossypium herbaceum, it is commonly known as Old World cotton, and Gossypium raymondi, it is known as American or upland cotton. So both are having diploid chromosome number 26. So these are selected as parents. So here you can note one thing, both parents selected, they are diploid one, but in wheat they have selected different parent. One parent was tetraploid and one parent was diploid, but here both diploid parent have been formed. So they have selected these two parents and they have synthesized. So here you can see we have selected two parents, that is Gossypium herbaceum and Gossypium raymondi. So the first is Old World cotton and another is American upland cotton. This Gossypium herbaceum, it contains 2n is equal to 26 and another also contains diploid chromosome number 26. So naturally F1, which is derived from these two parents, it will get 13 chromosomes from first parent and 13 chromosomes from second parents, and it will also become diploid one, and it is also contains 26 chromosomes means. But here diploid number was 26, here diploid number is 26, but all are univalent, means they are not paired chromosomes. All chromosome, that is all 26 chromosomes, they are unpaired chromosomes, they are free from each other, so they are known as univalents, they are not bivalents. But chromosome here they was bivalents, but in F1 they are not paired, so they are known as univalent. But chromosome number, it is very similar to both of the parents. Why it is known as hybrid? Because it has received 13 chromosomes from one parent and 13 chromosomes from another parent, means one chromosome set from first parent and another chromosome set from another parent. So this is known as F1 hybrid, and which contains 26 univalents. Now when we will give colchicine treatment to F1 hybrids which are sterile, so F1 hybrid, as there is no pairing of chromosome takes place, they are highly sterile one. But when we will give colchicine treatment to F1 hybrids, what happens? You can see here, they will produce a variety Gossypium hirsutum, which is known as New World cotton. So it is a tetraploid variety because it contains 2n is equal to 52, means here 52 chromosomes have been found. So instead of 26, we can see there are 52 chromosomes and 26 bivalent, means 26 pairs of chromosomes. So as here pairing will be takes place, it is the fertile variety of cotton. So this is known as New World cotton, which is derived from two parents. One parent, it is Gossypium herbaceum, another is Gossypium raymondi. As there are two distinct species have been formed, F1 hybrid will be highly sterile, but when we will give them with a colchicine treatment, they will produce a new variety, that is Gossypium hirsutum, and it is different than that of parents initially selected, because parents were diploid one, but this variety it is tetraploid one, and this is known as New World cotton, and it is scientific name of that cotton, it is Gossypium hirsutum, and it has diploid chromosome number, that is 52, and it contains 26 pairs of chromosomes or 26 bivalents. So in this way scientists have produced artificially New World cotton, and this is tetraploid as it contains two distinct sets of chromosomes or more than two distinct sets of chromosome. It is known as allopolyploid. So in this video we have all learned about the artificially synthesized wheat and artificially synthesized cotton, which are the very classical examples of allopolyploids. These are some references used. Thanks for your attention.